This edition of MacVoices is brought to you by SupportYourApp. SupportYourApp specializes in supporting Mac and iOS apps since 2011. When your app gets featured in the App Store, SupportYourApp will help you deal with the avalanche of customer feedback, will help you build your support processes faster, and will save your developers time to focus on the product. Learn more at SupportYourApp.com. Folks, we're still at AltConf and WWDC in San Jose. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Joe Workman. He does add-ons for RapidWeaver, a web publishing platform, and I haven't talked to him in a long time.
Yeah.
But what are you up to?
I'm still doing add-ons for RapidWeaver. I'm going on 10 years now. It's been a lot of fun. It's a small niche community of web designers that love building stuff with RapidWeaver. It's a lot of fun, and exciting things are coming this year.
It intrigues me the different ways that we have at this point to create websites. They all have different advantages. They all have some disadvantages. But you've really stuck with RapidWeaver.
Yeah, I have stuck with RapidWeaver because I find it fun, right? It's a great mixture of kind of WYSIWYG, kind of drag and drop, but you could also dive into code if you really want to for the the hardcore user. And I can hand code websites, no problem, but I use RapidWeaver because I enjoy it, and I love the community, and that's why I'm still in business doing it. So, yeah.
Well, I'm intrigued, and I'm happy to hear that there's still that kind of user base for something like RapidWeaver.
Yeah.
Because and again, I got to be careful here, but so many things are on WordPress, so many things have moved to things like Squarespace, and the individual coding, even with tools of websites, seems to be not quite a dying art, but definitely diminished. And yet it offers so much more control and over personalization and the ability to deliver exactly what you want.
Yes. I get a lot of people asking me that same question, like, oh, why should I use RapidWeaver and not WordPress, or go to Squarespace or Wix or something like that? And you're giving up a lot of control, especially with services like Squarespace and Wix and Weebly and so on and so forth. You're not going to get the full customization and do everything that you want to do, right? And also, I'm also a huge fan of really managing, especially if you're doing this for a business or something like that, managing it yourself, because you don't know what Squarespace is going to do one day, or Wix or Weebly is going to do, right? And they could inject stuff in your web page and you don't even know about it, right? So, or they can go out of business, right? So, designing with an app like RapidWeaver, you get to publish it to your own server that you manage. You can just click it with a click of a button. You don't need to be super technical, and and also things like WordPress. I know pretty much the whole world is like, when they're starting their business, they're like, oh, I'm going to go to WordPress, right? And the problem that I don't like about WordPress is that there's a lot of the management headache that you have to deal with, because WordPress is the biggest platform out there. You're also the biggest target, right? So, right? So you're going to get people trying to hack in your website all the time, and it's a really big problem. And it's such a big problem that there's so many service companies out there that you then have to pay monthly to help you manage your WordPress instance. So that just seems like why even get yourself into that mess?
Well, you're right. Well, the reason you get yourself into the mess is because it has so many capabilities that you don't have by yourself.
Yes.
And sometimes the products don't necessarily have them either.
Yeah.
But somebody like you who does add-ons to RapidWeaver,
yes,
you give us the capabilities we're looking for.
Exactly. So, like, for instance, a lot of people might not know this, but back in the day, RapidWeaver, you build your website on your Mac and then you publish it. But then if you ever wanted to make changes again, right, you'd have to make changes on your Mac and then publish those changes. That's not the case anymore, right? There's full-blown online management systems for RapidWeaver. I have one called Total CMS that I've made that you can design your site, but then you manage all your content online, right? So you can still blog from wherever you want, with any web browser. You can take a picture from your phone and post it to your website straight from your phone, right? You can do all that stuff straight with RapidWeaver and all these online management systems that it has as well.
Okay, so give me an idea of your rundown of your catalog for add-ons for RapidWeaver, sure, because I know there are a bunch of them, and
yes,
what do they all do?
I have over 150 add-ons for RapidWeaver now, and I have everything from just a simple drag and drop of a YouTube video to something like an entire online management CMS. So, and really everything in between: photo galleries, video galleries, RSS sliders, integrations with Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, pretty much any sort of little widget. At 150, there's a lot of stuff there, right? So, yeah, I pretty much, if you name it, I probably have something that does it.
Okay, so how difficult is it for me to integrate one of your add-ons into RapidWeaver? Because it's been a while since I've used RapidWeaver.
Sure. So it's basically just drag and drop. So if you purchase one of my add-ons or download one, you just drag it onto RapidWeaver. It installs it for you. Then there's a library of widgets that you have that you just drag onto the page. It's kind of like building your website with Legos. A lot of time when I'm talking to someone that has no clue what I'm doing, I tell them I make Legos for web designers. That's exactly what I do. Because you take these little widgets, whether or not it's a gallery or a paragraph or a header or a column layout, you just drag it on there. And if you want another one, you just drag and place it where you want and reorder them, right? It's really easy. It's exactly like building your website with Legos.
Interesting. I got to go back and look at this because as much as I appreciate WordPress and Squarespace, there are times I either want to whip something up that is a little simpler, but I want a little more control over.
Yep. Yeah, and exactly. And if a lot of times it's like, there's all these companies and service companies out there like Lead Pages and whatnot, where they're like, you have to pay a subscription just to have like a lead magnet page. And you're like, all it is a web page form with a subscription thing on there, right? It's something you can whip up in RapidWeaver in 10, 15 minutes. If you know what you're doing, right? And publish it to the page, and you're done. You don't need to worry about subscriptions. You don't need to worry about all that stuff, right? And, I think it's unfortunate. There's a lot of, entrepreneurs out there that want to be entrepreneurs that are getting sold all these, SaaS things, and they're spending a lot of money up front for things that they don't really need. Right? Or things that they could just buy something like RapidWeaver and just build it, right? And they don't need to pay this ongoing thing, which when you're first starting out, you need that money, you need that capital, like as much as you can. So yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the dirty part of this discussion, and that is security.
Yep.
Because in some of the other areas, the more things I add on, the more security holes I potentially open up, depending on how well they're written. And so how do you address that, and where does this stand in the RapidWeaver world and in your add-on world?
Sure. So a lot of the content in RapidWeaver is static HTML. So if it's just a static HTML web page, there's really not much security. Your website is as secure as your hosting company is. Okay, so and I always tell my customers, you get what you pay for with hosting as well, right? So if you're paying $2 a month for hosting, it might not be the most secure, right? So if you're, have a decent hosting company, I wouldn't really have to worry about, a lot of add-ons for RapidWeaver and their security, because a lot of it is just static HTML. Now, obviously, my whole online CMS solution that I was referring to, that's all PHP, and it has a user login and management system out there, right? And I have paid people to go and knock on it to make sure it's, semi-hacker free, and so yes, it's solid. And a lot of times with the add-on market, you kind of gotta get to know the developer. I work really hard at that stuff, and I care, but yeah. So,
okay, well, yeah. I mean, it's a question that has to be asked.
Yes, no, definitely. And like I said earlier, with WordPress, people they know WP admin, right, or WP login, right? They're going to be pounding that on your website all the time because they want to see is this person running WordPress? Because I know all the known hacks for that, right? But if you're running something like RapidWeaver, that even if it has some PHP on the server, right? Again, they're not going to be able to get into your login because A, they have no clue what it is, right? And B, most of the time it's going to be, again, the strength of your web hosting company, which most of them, they want to get the low-hanging fruit, which is, I know how to hack into WordPress, I know how to hack into all these other common platforms, that's what I'm going to target, right? Not some static website generator.
Makes sense. Yeah, unfortunately, the more successful these products become, the easier or bigger target they are.
Exactly.
So the website where folks can learn everything that you do.
Yeah, so interesting. Right now, everything is at joeworkman.net, but I'm going through a complete rebranding process right now. In about 6 weeks from now, hopefully by midsummer 2018, I'll be on a new website called weavers.space. You can go there now and you can log into my community. I have a whole online community. I have about 4,000 users on there right now, and it's just a community of web designers, and it's a lot of fun. And this summer, 2018, RapidWeaver 8 is also getting released, and exciting things are happening. It's a lot of good times.
So I have to ask about this. So are you moving your web identity to the community?
Yes. So yeah, I about 2 years ago, I started this community called Weaver Space, and it was a community.
Oh, it's yours.
Yeah, it's my community.
Oh, okay.
It's Weaver Space is my brand, and so I started this online community for web designers, and it kind of grew, and people now are associating that brand with me. So now I'm going to move all my products over there as well.
Now I understand.
Yes.
Okay, great,
Yeah.
great. Joe, thanks so much for the time. It's good to see you.
Chuck. Thank you.
See you back here next year?
Yes, definitely. I come every year.
All right, sounds good. Folks, we'll have more from WWDC and AltConf just like this. Until the next time, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.